Hey, people will judge the molester but think they're better than the molester. And I ask, well, why do you think you're better? When I realized it doesn't matter what you think about yourself or how much you have or don't have or how you accomplish things in life or don't. If you have no love, you have nothing.
Like my cousin, sent me you, and I thank him for that. It was more of a, he thinks the whole everything's a joke. That just adds a little spice to it. But in the heart of what you're saying, there is real things going on. And people want to overlook that. And I'm telling you, Mr. Peterson, I'm not one of those people. And I thank God that, he showed you to me. And sometimes we just need some Jesse in our lives, I guess.
I wish we had more brothers like you. We need more brothers like you. This because we don't have most guys that can, lead black people into the right direction. And I thank you for that because a lot of people will be like, man, it's still going on. It's racism. Yeah. And I try to tell them, watch his show. Listen to this brother. He's telling the truth.
Take no thought about tomorrow. Yesterday doesn't exist. And you're going to see, man, God is with us and all is well. Anytime you have situations happening in your life, always be still. Don't overreact. Most of the people that I know, they say, oh, I know Jesus. I love Jesus. I'm an observer. And as soon as something don't go their way, they get mad. I'm like, what the? If you overreact, folks, remember to do that. Don't overreact. And when you get mad, it's your problem. It ain't your wife's problem, your husband's problem, your neighbor, your friend, your preacher, your teacher. It's your problem. Why you think you tick? It didn't go your way or the way you think it should go. Don't have a way you think it should go. Let life just happen. Thoughts make you think that life should go the way you want it to go. And if it doesn't, if someone don't do or say or act the way you think they should act, you hate them. And then you blame them for being mad. It's the darndest thing I ever seen. But it's amazing to see it. So relax. So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer.
I know some people have called in and they wonder if the silent prayer is working. And I just want to take a second and to tell them that it works. You just have to stick with it.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I started doing before I even forgave my parents. And I was so depressed and suicidal at some times that I just would have to stop in the middle of my job or whatever I was doing and go into the silent prayer. And it really does help. I don't have those anymore.
Amazing. You haven't seen anything yet. Doubt every thought. Bring every thought into captivity. Just let them all pass. Don't judge them. You haven't seen anything. It gets better and better and better and easier. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church. Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home. That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby. He's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room,
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border. And then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on American soil. So he became the anchor baby. You don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. How you doing, folks, on this fine Tuesday? A pleasure to have you here on this fine way off. There we go. It's a pleasure to have you here on this fine Tuesday, folks. Pleasure. We got a bit of a show for you today, as we do, okay? It's popping off, they say. But look, now there's a ceasefire. We'll get into all of it. Trump, Israel, and all that, okay? There's a number of things to get into. We'll finally get to that New York mayoral race. It's truly a shame. It's a mess, man, but there's a number of things to get into. Fun stuff and your calls and all that, okay? So pleasure. Appreciate you tuning in today on this fine Tuesday, okay? You got something on your mind, something you want to talk about, you can call in 888-775-3773. Hold on here. 888-775-3773. Welcome to the show, folks. What else can I say here? I want to welcome my lovely viewers on punchy.tv/anchorbaby. We got viewers on rumble.com/AmericanAnchorBaby. And of course, how y'all doing here on YouTube? Very nice. Nick's mama got him over here. Great teamwork. I'm just looking at my chat here, okay? So thanks for tuning in. What was I saying here? Rumble, YouTube, punchy.tv. Calls are already coming in. We got super chats. Look, there's already plenty to do, plenty to get to. So let's hurry up and get to it. Okay? What else here? Buymeacoffee.com/anchorbaby. And other than that, look, calls are already coming in. 888-775-3773. I want to just jump into some stuff. I was looking upon I was looking at the world, right? That sounds like I was up there, right? On some bird's eye view, maybe in my mind. I was looking upon our civilization and I'm trying to summarize it and describe it. I was just thinking about it, about these conversations that we're having about race and love and racism and all these political things, all the things that we were taught in school, all those things. I don't know. They have a number of names for it, right? Liberalism, progressive. I don't know. Are we living in the progressive age? You know, it came with promises. It came with banners, promises. We'll build a better world. We'll build a perfect world. And it seems like they've been saying this for decades before I was even born. We'll build a better world. We can build the world that we want, that we envision. Where we'll liberate women in the workforce. We can redistribute things and make sure that all people have what socialists call dignity. You know, they basically want to eradicate pain, pain itself. These people want to eradicate pain itself. They thought, well, we could just make our own world, you know, dismantle hierarchies. Make a whole new world. And it seems to have been going on for decades. And this is on an insistence, a big insistence that all cultures are equal, that all the races are the same, that all the religions are the same, that if we just let go of our old prejudices, a heaven on earth would come about. A paradise would bloom. Doesn't that sound right? That sounds nice, right? We should drop prejudices. But what do they call prejudice? They call prejudice at the world I live in, the world I grew up in, what they call a prejudice sometimes is merely describing something matter-of-factly. And it seems like we're living in an age where this old conversation, this old dialectic is self-evidently proving itself wrong. I mean, it seems like there's evidence all around us. The birth rate's collapsing, the families collapsing, fractured families, no faith. Oh, let's just have a faithless society. We could just be rational and all that. Oh, oops, immoral people, crime and all that. Cities rotting. They said that the traditions, the America's traditions, outdated and too white. And in their place, slogans, no? Borders erased, cultures traded like items, like nothing. And it seems like quite sick. It seems like we're able to see this not working out, but the refrain continues from, the older folks hanging on to this dialectic and the brainwashed that have listened. End racism. Celebrate diversity, equality. That's another false thing. Equality. We're just equal. We're just equal. Everyone's just equal. In what way? What are you talking about? Before the eyes of the Lord. Fine, but what about like who's the engineer? Who's cleaning? I don't know what to tell you. Who's making babies? And it doesn't seem to work, okay? It doesn't seem to work. And it's hard to admit, maybe. To me, it seems when trying to summarize and describe the world, I keep arriving to this tail end of this conversation. Are we at the tail end of it? And there's just people plugging up their ears saying, no. If only we drop prejudices. If only we just, if we just have to believe in stopping racism harder, right? Just believe harder that we're all equal. It seems the dialectic has run its course in my mind. I don't know. I'm just trying to watch, right? But the theories broke as it hit reality. No? I mean, I believe we could have peace. We could live and have fine lives. But it seems like the world has been trying to impose this utopia well before I was even around, okay? And attempting to engineer it, making it so, even in the face of destruction, misery. And it seems like any day now, the biggest city in America is going to be run by some Muslim socialist, and he's going to win. He's going to win. If not this time, if it's not this time, the Muslim socialists of tomorrow will win, cheered on by people who never lived who living decadently in America, really, never had to lose anything, and he'll win. He'll win because the demographics have shifted. Because the demographics have shifted, and the people coming here don't know what this country was, and the people here forgot. I mean, you've seen London, right? Have you seen London? That's not some story or a foreign land. That's our future. You understand? So good intentions. I'm trying to, in this summary of our society, of our civilization, as I'm looking. I mean, I'm an anchor baby, right? It's my civilization too, but guess whatever. Look, what I'm saying is, looking at it, these good intentions aren't saving anything. They're collapsing. And the good intentions, and I think the problem lies in that the good intentions were never good. They weren't good intentions. They're wrong thinking. To think that you're responsible for others, to think that you could eradicate pain, to think that you could just undo the realities of the world, like you have to work and eat to eat. You have to, women make babies. birth rates keep societies going. Like, just these realities of the jagged rocks of reality. You're gonna get broken on. You know what I mean? So I guess that's the utopia, the progressive age. Is it a little? Are we seeing it rot in front of us? But I don't know. Personally, I don't see any reason to despair. I mean, what I'm describing is the world. It's always been like that, no? Did you know you can have an amazing life anyways? Because only evil people despair. I was thinking about this. You see, the big mistake was thinking you had good intentions. Because think about it. Only evil people suffer in an evil world because they identify with the evil world. They're really no different. So you can only suffer in that manner. And you suffer what? You suffer first because of literally just wrong thoughts. You think to yourself, what was it? I'm trying to think of a caller who called me. I had someone who called me, and they believe that they are responsible, for example, for their country, or responsible for their neighbors, responsible for their race, or responsible for... And it's just not true. You're responsible for you. And, if you're a man with a family, your family, that's really all you're responsible for. And the evidence is in how your life goes. This relationship with your responsibility with your own life, it ends up showing. And you either live and lead a fine life or a miserable one. So, anyways, no reason to despair. But what a mess. No utopias. It's like, are we seeing it not work out? They say, where did the men go? Now the women are out here saying, the men have retreated from intimacy. So nothing about no repentance at all. No, maybe trying to undo the family and have it our way. Maybe that made things a little difficult. Because it's like, yeah, you can have it your own way. Fine, go have a career and make money. But why are women doing it? Because they want to be equal to men. And the only way that they could be equal to men, like, for example, in physical, worldly ways, is, by making the same amount of money, attempting to, Stefan Molyneux, he's back on X, I think. I don't know, I've been seeing him around more lately. He said something interesting, I think, to that effect. The women want to be equal? Okay. Guess what happens? You want to be equal to a man, you have to make as much money. So you have to not have a baby. And it's like, nice. You did it. Now you have the same monetary equality as a man. And the only way to do it is, you had to forego having a child. So you did it. And then after you die, it ends. It ends in like a generation because the women aren't making babies. So, anyways, I'm at the mess of I was just trying to summarize the world a bit. I want to get into Trump, Israel, and all the things going on as we move forward here. Maybe even with a little bit of that on the back of our minds. Thematic? I don't know. 888-775-3773. I do want to get to my calls here real quick before we jump back in to the show, some of this news and all that. But, yeah, did I welcome all of you here in the chat? It's nice to see y'all. What's up, Sweet Amy? Golden Rule. Soy Único. Lord of the Pies. AG. All my viewers here. Mark, Kevin. What's up, C-Sal, Rich? It's nice to see everybody as always. Doing a little hello to the peeps. By the way, don't be rude. Are you being rude right now? Are you just sitting there? I mean, I didn't tell you yet. But don't be rude. Come on. You're sitting there. You've listened to the opening a bit. You're like, okay, let me see what he's got to say. And you're not going to click the like button. You're just going to sit there. You're not even going to say hello in the chat. You're not going to jump in and say, what's up? I mean, I know you got criticisms. Say something. I mean, have an opinion. Live a little. Anyways, let me stop berating my audience. How you doing, Creighton? Age of Inversion. Nice to see everybody. I want to get to Josh out of Georgia here. Appreciate your call, Josh. Nice to hear from you, man. Go ahead.
Hey, man. Yeah, yes, sir. Wanted to talk about, you said you were just being present on Sunday and just doing what was in front of you, right?
You talking about Jesse?
Yeah. When the whole incident happened, that was interesting, man. That was that reminded me of like the Kyle Rittenhouse situation, man. Because it's like you said, to us watching, I think that's ego because we love to make somebody a hero, right? But
talking about me?
Talking about you. The same way we did with Kyle Rittenhouse, right?
Right.
We kind of made him a hero, but he straight up looked like a hero. He looked like John Wayne or somebody. But he was just, to him, or to like, I think that was the same situation. To you, you saw what happened and you had no choice. It's like it wasn't even you doing that. But to us, it looked like,
I almost want to say that
Nick was present.
I'm present, baby. It might have been presence. I mean, Jesse's been telling me to be aware for years now, right? It might be sticking. It might be sticking a little.
It's working.
I mean, awareness
what
is everything.
What did it feel like? You, but it didn't feel like it was you. It
No. No, it happened really fast. Honestly, it happened really fast. I knew he was going to fall, so I had to go up. And then I saw his legs folded funny, so I had to say out loud, hey, put his legs out. And then I just saw him there, and I'm like, I know what I would want right now is air in my face. So I started blowing. I'm like, get the fan, and that's it. That's it. Honestly, there wasn't much to think about. It really wasn't much to think about. And what can I say?
Yeah.
It's a funny thing you mentioned about Kyle.
Yeah.
Didn't at one point Kyle come out and with some girlfriend on TikTok?
Yeah. And
and then he became like a not hero for people.
Yeah, I think he didn't even vote for Trump, or didn't he not endorse Trump in this last election or something?
Something like that. I know he did something, and the people were like, "Yeah, I don't know about him being a hero anymore."
I don't care, bro. He was John Wayne, but I still love him. But that's a thrill. And I think we're doing that with you too.
You think so? I'll say this: I know people just care about Jesse, so. I understand people want to call in. Let's not make it too big of a I don't have to make it a big deal. Be like, hey guys, blah blah blah. But you know, people just care about Jesse, so whatever. People could call, no biggie. That being said, you think that's what people are doing?
Yeah, that's what. And I mean, that's what I think. That's like celebrities understand this because people put celebrities on a pedestal, like they're greater than. And I think Trump is like that too. He looks like he has energy from God. Like how is this man? How is he making peace in the Middle East right now? He can't be stopped. We don't know what he's going to do. He seems to keep winning. He's probably in the same mentality that you were, just in the present, just doing what's in front of him to do. And I think that's the whole secret.
I hope so. I hear that it's some sort of energy from God. So.
Yeah, that's what this is. I think it sounds like Jesse's playing when he says Nick has energy from God, But like, okay, wow, this really came true. Is this what Jesse's been talking about? Trump and Nick have energy from God.
He's just been telling us to be aware, and I think that worked.
That's what it is.
And and I just, that's it. I mean,
I think
others saw it too.
That was a lesson, man.
I think others were getting up and saw it too. Just I didn't hesitate, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it's like have you heard of like when mass shootings happen and some guy happens to have the firearm and he takes out the mass shooter, and then they make him the hero. And he's like, I'm not a hero. I just happen to be in the right place at the right time. And anybody would have done that, but I don't know. We want a hero, man. We love that.
I can be your hero, baby.
The comments went crazy on you, bro.
They did.
The comments, bro. They're making you Superman, bro.
I know. I'm Superman now.
Yeah.
I hope they don't break me down from the pedestal.
Yeah.
Who knows what?
Yeah.
No, but that's just how evil and aware people would be. That's not everybody, right? Because we're also taking in Jesse's message, right? It means something to us too, right? So should the anchor baby, I don't know, cut his hair? You'll be like, oh, you're not going to turn on the anchor baby now, are you?
Right, just like what we did with Rittenhouse. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, they'll turn on you in a heartbeat. But but there is a lesson. I want to be in that state. That is like a big. I want to live present like that. That way you can catch things like that. That's how all men should live. Because it was just masculine, bro. That was just a masculine act.
Well, I say salute to the viewers, to the audience. We all have the same love here. We love our JLP. We love the whole thing. So anybody would have done it, but it is easy to go unaware. It's the craziest thing, especially at church. It's like I'm standing at the back usually, be able to look at everybody, and and they don't see me looking at it. But it's very easy to. It's myself too. I'll be like looking around. I'm thinking about something else.
People be talking, and you remember y'all did that game where like people talking, and then you went to the next person and said, "Okay, what did he just say?"
That was awesome. That was great. That was when Jesse asked someone a question. He had them talk, and then he had someone else. He's like, "Okay, now you respond to them." It's like, have you ever been to a church like that? And the people, when they got the mic, they're like, can you repeat what you said? I wasn't listening."
Right. That's how I was at home listening to it. I was like, man, I did not listen to nothing that dude just said. Like, I have to run it back, But that's the whole key to life, is just staying right in the presence right there.
I think you're right, man. I was thinking, I was talking with someone, and they brought up, so here's another, let me give you another aspect of awareness, since we're on it. You might think awareness is just, it's always just being alert. But here's like another aspect to this awareness I think that I saw the other day. There was someone who was telling me about something that they experience almost every morning. It's very, very disturbing to them. Basically, they have like neighbors and they cook gross food or something like that. And it bothers them, okay? And I can understand it. I smelt it. I'm like, this would be I would hate to wake up to this, right?
All right.
But I saw them say this one more time. If they're listening, it's not that deep, but look. You got to have awareness even about every thought that comes through. If every morning you're going to have like a disgusted, like a reaction that'll cause you to have like a bad morning or whatever.
Attitude.
Every morning because someone else is doing something, that's not normal. And that's not even coming from you. That's the awareness that Jesse's talking about. It's like, okay, fine. You can even every morning say, I hate this smell. But as long as you internally have this awareness of where is that even coming from? Why is it that I'm disgusted every morning like that? I know this is coming every morning. It's just not natural. So that was that just came to me. I just remembered that. Yeah,
that demon in you wants you to be in like a annoyed attitude.
There's things you can't change, and then maybe there's things you can affect and change, but then there's things you can't change.
Yeah.
And that's awareness. Awareness within what's happening in your mind. Anyways, what you're feeling and thinking. There you go, to summarize.
Right. Trump has that down pat. I think that's all Trump does. Is he knows that you don't, because that's what, evil people, they have to plan out everything and have to manipulate it and plan ahead and try to, it's like they're always thinking ahead. They're not right in the moment, And if you just right in the moment, you got an advantage.
Awareness. This is let's practice that.
Yeah.
Man, Josh, appreciate your call, sir.
Yeah. All right, man. Pass the aux cord.
All right.
Move the wheel.
Take care. Yeah, I like that. Move the wheels. Pass the aux. All right. Call me again. Oops. He was probably saying bye. 888-775-3773. If you got something to say, something on your mind. But man, appreciate all the super chats. Thank you so much. MF says, let us be pattern recognizers. I think I disavow that. A little coffee action from Stephen here. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Helping out here. Lord of the Pies with a donation. Nice to see you, Lord of the Pies. Right on. Says, this is just a donation to show my appreciation, and in no way am I trying to show up other viewers who haven't donated yet today. Operative word, yet. Thank you, Lord of the Pies. Appreciate it. Are you crowned up? How does this crown work? Do you have a crown, Lord of the Pies? I don't see a crown. Are there any crowns? Lincoln Lewis is number 2? Oh, and it looks like mildly attractive Snake Pit security guard is number 1. Paul is third. Maybe we'll decipher this one day, how this all works. But thank you, William. We got another super chat here. William says, hey, Nick, you the man. Tell Jesse about Dr. Blah, blah. I'll pass that along. Thank you, William. Out of Huntington Beach. A great holistic chiropractor and doctor. I think he'll like him. Nice. Right on, William. I'll pass that along. Thank you so much. Amazing. And we got some coffees here. The crown is not on Rumble. Hey, what's up, Rumble viewers? You're asking about a crown. You're like, how do I get a crown? The crown is on YouTube. So, I mean, do you really want to go to the city? You Rumble viewers, you're out here in the countryside, got plenty of room. You're homesteading, you're living your best life. You got chickens, you got chicken coop. You look at the city and you're like, these guys don't even have chickens. These guys are living around their daily lives and they don't even have chickens, and they think they're secure. So that's that's you guys here on Rumble. You guys are like the homesteaders. You guys are out there. So I don't even know if you'd want to come over here into the city, into YouTube, to try and get a crown. I mean, it's fun. But that's how it goes. When does the treasure chest open on Rumble? I don't know if that's a thing. I don't think that's a thing. There's no treasure chest in Rumble. Your homestead is your treasure over on Rumble. But preppers and homesteaders, what will you do when you don't have feed? You say, oh, when society collapses, you people will be fine. But I mean, doesn't a pig need like pounds of feed every day? Where are you going to get your feed? Or do you make that too? I'm self-sufficient. Maybe very few. But the preppers, they're like an uncontacted tribe. They're allowed to exist. Should America collapse? You know what I'm saying? Like that's just a fantasy. I don't know. I'm just rambling, monologuing about preppers. Tell me where I'm wrong. What will you do should it all collapse? It's not collapsing. Okay, so where was I? Look, that was our super chats. Thank you, everybody. We'll get back to those. We have a non-pithy coffee here on buymeacoffee.com/anchorbaby. So we'll get back to all that. Let's see here. Let's get into some of the news here. By now you know about the news somewhat. Maybe you heard about it because there's a big old war kicked off. It's been going. You could say 12 days ago, Israel struck Iran after 60 days. 60 days of negotiations didn't work out between Iran, America, and Israel, or between Iran and America for Israel or whatever, for peace in the region. And so, yeah, you could say, well, after those 60 days, Israel did Operation Rising Lion, a preemptive strike. They say they were on their way to make a bomb, so they had to do it. That's what they said. And, soon after, talk about further diplomacy was coming down from the Trump administration. Trump saying that in 2 weeks he'll make a decision. 2 weeks did not come. It happened over the weekend. Bunker busters from the U.S. military flew over to Iran, and they say successfully destroyed their nuclear facilities, okay? And, of course, that's been the topic of conversation. Will they join? Will a greater war happen? Is this Iraq all over? What is going on? And all that. But you could go even further before that, right? The world has been turning, and they've been fighting. They're angry. They're fighting, right? They say 70 years of conflict in that region. So, you can go back. But coming back to today, the big after the bunker buster bombs dropped by America, after all that, there's been all sorts of talk about how will this escalate? Is it already over? Has it essentially already been decided? When you drop those bombs, are we in a conflict that you really can't get out of? Is all this talk of we're not at war with Iran, we're at war with their nuclear facilities. Oh, we just want a limited strike. All these conservative influencers online saying, oh, okay, that's fine with the strike, but no boots on the ground. Is it all just... that was the conversation. The wondering is it all just talk? Is this war already here? And I've been watching, right? I've had my questions. I'm like, well, someone's got to explain to me how war in Iran is America first, how it's really the proper thing to do right now with so many domestic issues. You know, I've had my open questions about the whole situation, but I've been essentially waiting and seeing, right? Because I'll tell you when I don't know. I just don't know. I know there's experts out there, and they're telling you they know. They've made their predictions, and they just know exactly. The signs are there. This war is here. Trump is beholden. He's not the one running things. He's actually beholden to XYZ, Israel, etc. The deep state rhinos. And it all goes to Israel. That's the commentary I'm hearing. And where was I? And then we get hit with interesting news. We constantly keep getting hit with interesting news. Because here's the summary is, the view for some is there's this runaway train. This runaway train that is the foreign policy of America in the last 30 years, 20 plus years? And what has been driving this runaway train? That's been the question. What is driving this runaway train of war with Iran? And what drove the train before with war with the other countries right in the Middle East? Iraq with Bush, and then all the regime change with all the other ones. Syria, Libya, etc. With various levels of involvement with the United States, etc. And over different presidents, Republican and Democrat. That's been the question, this whole runaway train. And then the further question as of late which has been a question, but it's on the forefront of the news right now. Is Trump on this runaway train? Is he on this train with them? And we keep getting hit with interesting news. So I know that this ceasefire business can change. Fine. But if you were just listening to one thing, even this should not be happening, seemingly, right? But the news is, basically, you already might have heard, is that Trump is hold on. You know, Trump announced on Truth Social, it starts off here with Trump announcing on Truth Social, and this was yesterday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and he had a very interesting post on Truth Social. He wrote, "Congratulations to everyone. It has been fully agreed by and between Israel and Iran that there will be a complete and total ceasefire in approximately 6 hours from now, when Israel and Iran wound down and completed their progress." He gives the details of when the ceasefire begins and how it'll be the official end to the 12-day war. It'll be saluted by the world. Every side will remain peaceful and respectful. And he congratulates them for this peace and this ceasefire. This is a war that could have gone on for years and destroyed the entire Middle East, but it didn't and never will. God bless Israel. God bless Iran. God bless the Middle East. God bless the United States of America, and God bless the world. It was amazing news, right? About, wow, what is this? Of course, it starts hitting the news aggregates, the sites. I'm seeing it now. And that is the news that people saw yesterday. Big news, right? Ceasefire, peace in the Middle East, at least temporarily. And so that was the initial reports. Soon after, there were further posts. Now, soon after, there were reports of strikes. All sorts of strikes. Coming from Iran, coming from Israel. I think, and I don't know If I knew, I'd say. But I do think, because of some of what Trump said and some of what I've seen, it seems like Israel striked Iran pretty much right after this ceasefire began, this announcement of a ceasefire. And many were watching that as either a betrayal of America or just a big middle finger to America. Others were reporting that this ceasefire was fake news, that neither side even agreed to this. There was reports of Iran saying, I don't know what you're talking about. The next day comes, right today, and we get Truth Social posts. Trump, for example, this is 7:30 in the morning Eastern time, bright and early. He writes, Israel is not going to attack Iran. All planes will turn around and head home while doing a friendly plane wave to Iran. And I think a plane wave is when the planes go like this. It's like a jet will go like this and just, if you're seeing the video, I'm moving my hand in a side-to-side, not full barrel roll motion. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure that's what a plane wave is. Nobody will be hurt. The ceasefire is in effect, he says. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And in fact, actually, 40 minutes earlier than that, he wrote, Israel, do not drop those bombs. If you do it, it is a major violation. Bring your pilots home now. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. So it was a bit of a fiery, explosive morning, wondering, what does this all mean? What is this ceasefire? Will it last? Are the sides being really sneaky, and do they want war? I think we've come to see at this point, now that all this has kind of come out, the Ted Cruz interview and all this fighting online and the stuff that's happened, I think we could see that there are elements. I think we can say that now. I know that for others this has been clear for a long time, but some of us have only been following politics and stuff for some time. I know for a long time they've called them neocons, rhinos, a number of things. These entrenched people in the government that are described as very interventionist and they call it pro-war, but essentially they really want to intervene and be everywhere and run things, okay, in the world. And we've seen these elements come out hard for this war. And to me, it wouldn't even be that revelatory or a lesson for me until I saw how it doesn't align with Trump. Trump seems to have constantly been wanting to make deals for peace, and it seems like everyone around him they got their agenda, right? And that is what reveals that lesson, that these elements really are not, that are, you could say, that are almost rogue. And what I mean by that is we're talking about the government, elected officials. And what are they supposed to do? Represent the people that elected them, right? When they don't, in my mind, that's what rogue means in this case. So where was I? That's the bit of the news. This, and as of now, hold on. That's basically the report that the ceasefire is holding, and that it's in effect according to Trump's claims, despite the initial violations. And that's pretty much, it seems to be the continued update here. As of now, I think I could still say that here. We're looking at AP, looking at their live updates, and they still have this headline of Trump claims Israel-Iran ceasefire is in effect despite initial violations. That's pretty much where we're at. I saw on the JLP show that Israel does want to restrain further missiles, and we are waiting and seeing. What can I say? How this will turn out. But this has been an interesting morning for me, watching all this. Because I think we can see this runaway train a lot clearer now. We saw, and I'll get into it. I'll show you in a minute here. But we saw the Lindsey Grahams and those types on what, the Senate floor or whatever, making a big stink about war. We want war. We want war. And like, and you look at the vast majority of Americans and they don't want that. The vast majority of Americans. We saw we're seeing and other things like that, like for example, it seems to me like this Mark Levin guy who I don't know that well, but has been a conservative commenter or whatever for a long time here. Is clearly, I mean, he's Jewish, right? He's a Jewish man. Why wouldn't he have this ethnic affinity for this country, Israel? I wouldn't say that he's wrong for that, but he's also being, to me, he's been leaning heavily into that. And there are some that are criticizing him for that. And that's the crime. That's really the crime in America, to even say, to bring this up, to say, well, Mark Levin, I appreciate you, and you know, you're making your commentary, you might be right about this or that, but do you think that you want war that badly with Iran because you care more about Israel than America? Because the Americans don't want it. I would say that it's probably some connection there. And I wouldn't call that morally wrong. It's just how it is. And so what am I saying here? This runaway train, I think we're seeing it clear that it's not everybody on that train even cares about America. They have their different agendas and all that. But the question has been, is Trump on that train? And we're seeing interesting news. They said that we're already supposed to be at war with Iran. Now, whatever. We'll see. I'll stop there because we'll see what happens tomorrow. But this is why I still remain. This is why I have to stay on the wait and see side. Because look, we get interesting news every day. Now it's all this ceasefire talk, and they're going to back down. Obviously, we're seeing even in this moment, it revealed this rogue element I'm trying to describe. That as you saw, Iran and Israel violating this ceasefire. They don't want peace. They want to fight. And so we're seeing that revealed. And so what else can I say about this? I mean, maybe I'll learn a big lesson. I'm not really making a statement. I'm just watching and presenting the news for you and staying somewhat out of some of this because I don't know. What else about this? Israel and Iran. I've been saying something to this effect. And not because I'm like super politically educated and I know the facts and the details and the history of all the conflicts. No, for me it's simple. Even just looking at paying attention to Israel since Hamas on October 7th, it's become quite clear to me that these Jews and these Arabs really don't like they have a history of conflict and they really don't like each other. I don't know how else to put it. And so when I look at such a relationship, yeah, there's Trump here saying peace and all that. But what if there wasn't a Trump? You're telling me if there's no strong man to kind of put them in check, these people will just bomb each other and go out all out? Well, what does that tell you? What does that tell you? That tells you that this conflict has been going on before Trump, and they've been pushing it, and we'll go after him. You understand? The world is an angry place. Is Iran versus Israel inevitable? Maybe. And I think elements in America plan for that. So this has all been an interesting thing about awareness, to see what is going on with all this, how it'll turn out. So we're watching. We're waiting to see. What else can I say about this? Trump is saying it's time for those to pay attention to some major domestic issues now that peace has been made. He said, now that we have made peace abroad, we must finish the job here at home by passing the great, big, beautiful bill, getting the bill to my desk ASAP. It will be historic, present for the great people as we begin the celebration of our country's 250th birthday coming up. You know, the safety, the security will bring prosperity for all of our citizens. To my friends in the Senate, lock yourself in a room if you must. Don't go home and get the deal done this week. Work with the House so they can pick it up and pass it immediately. No one goes on vacation until it's done. everyone, most importantly, the American people, will be much better off thanks to our work together. So, we'll watch, right? Isn't that interesting? Well, if it really goes down this way, and the ceasefire and all that, the Supreme Court just the other day ruled that Trump can, in fact, continue deporting people to countries that are not necessarily their home origin. They took off like 1.4 million illegals out of the Medicaid and all those rolls, right? They were saying, oh, Trump, he's this and that, and so wait, we're not even getting. What were they saying about him? He's saying that he's like only in bed with the corporates, and he hates the people. Look, he wants to take away their Medicaid. Him removing all those illegals from the Medicaid means he cares about you. Because for how long have those people been getting Medicaid? And how long have your elected officials been saying they deserve it? Or they're Republican and they give you lip service and say, and it remains. We're talking about 1.4 million, and that's just as of now. We'll get to that story later. Out of Medicaid, one of the biggest problems here, one of the biggest drags on the system, on the economy, is this gigantic contingency of people just leeching off of it. Okay. So what else about this? It's kind of fascinating, all this. Will war break out? What are y'all thinking? It's just all the smart people. I don't know, what can I say? How do I put this? All the smart people have a prediction. Are any of you at least just a little bit, watching some of this news and saying, okay, maybe I don't know everything? Are some of you at least leaving space to say that, okay, maybe I don't know everything? Because I got people messaging me personally, and they want to have big old debate saying, nah, man, for example, they're reaching out to me and whatever. Let me not say that. Let me just move on. Look, the point is, it's an amazing thing to watch. No, we'll see what happens. With all that, I want to get back to some of this news. But what are y'all thinking about it? Thank you so much for the super chats. I'll get to all of you here and my callers. Blah, 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 blah. Let me move on here. Let me move a little quicker here. Amazing stuff. So nice to see you here in the chat, man. Thank you so much, Zit. Appreciate the super chat. Reads, in order to dismiss Khamenei from his position, a body of 88 clerics known as the Assembly of Experts would need to vote him out. Organizing such a vote would be difficult under current circumstances, however. MSN. Wait, is that really how Iran works? I think Zit here with a little news. With some news. This is from MSN about plots to remove Khamenei as supreme leader. His days are numbered, MSN writes. A group of Iranian politicians, military figures, etc., are planning for the removal of the Ayatollah days before Donald Trump joined Israel in striking the country's nuclear facilities. So, thank you, Zit. I'm not sure what to make of that. What do you think? What do you think about all that? Now, I know I've heard about this regime change. They're saying, we'll just make that we would like to see no boots on the ground. Some elements in the Trump administration and conservative people on the internet, they're saying, well, we don't want to see boots on the ground. If anything, we just want the Iranians themselves to just stand up. Stand up to Iran. So, I don't know if you're attempting to get into that, Zit. Let me know what you're thinking about that. Fire Opal with the super chat says, if you always need someone who's down to ride and will never lie, if you need an ear to hear you out, Donald Trump is there. Chia. That's from Fire Opal. Thank you for the support. Appreciate that. All righty. Now let's see here. What do I want to do next? Got a couple things here, but I do want to hold on here. (888-775-3773). Amazing super chats and all that. What else here? Amazing. Thank you for that, Brandon. Appreciate you being a viewer over there on Rumble. Anyways, let's see what some people have to say. And then we'll get back to some of this news and all that. A couple random things I have for you. Trump's... What? Wild theories in the chat. Look, let me get to William out of California. Appreciate your call, sir. Hold on. Trying to log in a stack here. We got William out of California. Appreciate your call. You're on the air.
Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? A good catch with Jesse the other day. He's okay, right?
Yeah, big time. He's fine.
That's cool. It's cool.
Thank
he
you.
was in the right place.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
so we're not going to war with Iran, man.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, just relax. It's cool. All right?
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. We're not going to war with Iran. And we don't want Iran. Now, look, all these concerns, China left just before we bombed it. So, you know, Iran is with the Axis, but if you got to think about Iran, they're kind of a funny place. You know, they're very religious on the radical side, and China and Russia are not. So, I mean, they have a hard time even getting with their number one and number two powers, which is China and Russia. And if you think about it, they're isolated. You know, I mean, they're surrounded. Iraq, Qatar, Dubai, Saudi Arabia, India, Pakistan, they're surrounded. So, I mean, don't worry, we're not going to war with them.
Yeah, I hope not.
And Trump is not in pocket of the Jews. I mean, there's no pocket about it. That's why they don't like Trump. He's doing what he wants to do. He's saying what he wants to say. Have you noticed that?
I keep getting signs of that, and so I just can't go along with what someone else says. I'll tell you what I think, and it just seems like I can't.
A lot of people they get hung up on why do we have to help Israel. But I'm going to point something out to you. Who do you think saved them?
Who saved Israel? You mean? What are you saying?
Yeah, the Jews.
What do you mean?
I'm not talking about the state of Israel. Who saved the Jews?
Mm-hmm.
Great Britain and the United States.
Mm-hmm. Like back in the day.
Yes. They're not going to ever let nothing happen to them. So I don't know why everybody is so hung up on it. They've always been protective of them. Great Britain, France, Japan, Germany, Philippines, Guam, so on. Saudi Arabia. I mean, the United States has interests all over the world. Israel's one of them.
So I'm not understanding what you're saying. You're saying that for that reason, America won't just like abandon them.
No, they won't.
And
that's all it is to it.
Is there
that's all it is to it.
Is there a future or reality where any country can behave or act in a certain way where America would say, no, you're on your own?
You know, a lot of people that don't really come out. Look, I don't understand all this stuff 100%, but I can tell you this: they were put there after World War II. Really, Great Britain did it, but you know, we support them, and it's the same as over here in America. We're here now. The Indians can't do nothing about it. Mexico and Canada can't do nothing about where we are right now. It's the same thing with Israel. They got a good economy. They got their own stock market. They got a strong military. They got a presence where they built up a society, and the other countries around them are in rubble. That's another thing. Everybody that doesn't like Israel, guess one thing is very true about them. economically, they're doing better than their enemy all the time. So,
is there a action or anything a nation could do?
Do you understand what I just said?
I mean, I heard what you said, that that they've been there.
They're in better shape. They're usually in better shape than people that don't like them.
All right. Do you think that a nation could act in a way that America would say you're on your own? Can a nation ever do anything? Is it on the table that a nation will be on their own? Should they act, I don't know, behave a certain way, even if they have like a history or something?
Israel's not going to be 100% by themselves. They pretty much destroyed a lot of the stuff that they got over there. And our stuff, here in America is 20 times stronger than theirs, but they've been tearing things up over there. Iran really has turned out to not be as big of a dog as everybody thought, because their response is like minimal.
I saw some of those reports. I saw some of the reports that, initially they were saying that they had all these missiles for weeks and weeks, and then they had it was crazy amount of missiles intercepted the first few days, but then that trickled down way big time. So the reports were that Iran does not have the stockpile of missiles that they claim they had.
Iraq and Afghanistan put up a better fight than this. So, Iran does not want to go. And you got to realize it's 20% of the population that's treating the population of Iran the way they're treating them. It's the 20% that's doing to the 80%.
In Iran, huh?
Yeah.
And why do you think that is? Is that the
for the most
ethnic
part,
makeup?
Was that who was in power before,
right.
Like when they took our hostages, those people that was in charge, they were kind of mistreating them too, but not
right.
on the level of
Okay.
the supreme leader. The supreme leader, and I think that guy's son wants to come back to the country and get them back into the free trade and being back to normal, because I told somebody the other day, back in the day, Iranians were very middle class, very, very middle class, and they were doing pretty good. But Iran, and there's only two people that knows what a supreme leader is right now, too. They can kill him if they want to, but they won't.
They could kill that.
President
You mean
Trump. That's President Trump and Bibi. They know where he is. They can mess him up right now. Just kill him. These people are pretty old that are in charge of Iran. They're like 90.
Yeah. Yeah, true. So
and they got a lot of young people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, William, I appreciate that. No, you made that very clear. Appreciate your call, sir. Call me again.
All right, man. Take care.
Thank you. 888-775-3773. If you guys want to call, 888-775-3773. So let me see here. Let's flip it around here. Now, what are we doing here? Oh, no, we can't move on just yet. We can't move on just yet. Ethnic affinities and dual loyalties. I disavow such a topic, right? I disavow such things. But on the other, what am I saying here? Look, quick little segment on kind of the other side of this coin here. There has been a bit of a revelation, and in some ways it's not. In some ways it's what we already knew. Now, personally, some of you already knew this because you've been following for a long time. For example, many of you know that Lindsey Graham is they say there isn't a war that he's not approving of. They say there's not a war he's not approving of. And so this is what I mean by revelatory moments. Is that even a word? Revelatory? Revelation, a bit, showing what you heard about the rumors of, oh, man, these people, the deep state, right? These rhinos that are constantly aligned with whatever interest they have, whatever interest they have, which, it never seems to align with their constituents, the people that put them in power. So that's what they say about this Lindsey Graham. And I heard that he was making this big old speech. I'm trying to play it for you here. He's making this big old speech. And pretty much in the middle of this, Trump put out that Truth Social on a ceasefire with Iran, right? So it was pretty delicious for some. Why isn't this playing? Why isn't this playing? What the? I have everything unmuted. I have everything correct here on my end, I think. What? Folks, I'm trying to play this clip for you, It's like crazy. You think it's actually insane. You have everything unmuted here. That's actually crazy. Bill! No, but he's busy doing Fallen State. All right, so whatever. No audio, no clips. Look, the guy is agitating for regime change in Iran. He was talking about how they're Nazis, hell-bent on taking over the world. It's like, we got to do something, right? If it won't stop at Israel, it's going to go everywhere. And that's what he was saying. And I think in the middle of that, it was this Truth Social from Trump, as you saw, talking about a ceasefire. It's like, right in the middle of your thing, Lindsey Graham, another rhino goes down. But, this has been a little bit revealing, no? I mean, ceasefire. They say this Mark Levin guy did not like this talk about ceasefire. I hate this word ceasefire. Oh, man. Actually, I can't. No clip. Let's just move on from that. I got no clip for you. I'm trying to show it to you. Let's move on from that. If Bill is if there's a moment that Bill's indisposed out there, folks out there in the office, I know he's busy with the Fallen State, but if there's a moment to come in to just see why I'm not getting any audio on anything. But let me move on here. Just trying to show you this clip. Darn, I have a whole bunch of clips. Let's do this super chat. Let's do these coffees from Eric. Appreciate your coffees here. I think we'll kick off something interesting. He says he's I had some I had a show yesterday, and I was saying about some of this refrain on the internet, and from the New York Times. They're starting to publish these things on the mainstream articles. They're asking men, "Where did you go? Where did the men go? I'm 30 years old and I got a career, and I'm finding it very difficult to find a man." That's also making more than me. Hey, Bill, I'm getting no audio from this laptop. I got everything unmuted. And I am on the output device, BMD HDMI. Like, that's correct. So, yeah. Where was I? And so Eric with the coffees here, he says, he quotes this woman in that article. Where did the men go? And so he's responding to this comment. Eric writes, women project their behavior to evade responsibility. The real question is, where did the women go? Because women used to be ladies. You trying to come and look over here? Sorry, that might be difficult. I mean, you could come. I don't mind if you just walk in front of the camera, do what you got to do. But no. Okay, thanks. The real question, he says, is where did the women go? Because women used to be ladies. Men aren't interested in paying the same price for women that 10 plus other men got for free. Remember, in 1950, the average age of marriage for a woman was 20 years old. There was no time to be a slut. Katie, at 30 years old, can't find a man because she's racked up 10,000 hours of dating. Women lose value with experience. Women are valued for beauty, virtue, and fertility, all of which she had more at 20. She's ungrateful because comparison is the thief of joy. The answer to all men and women intersexual dynamics question is, women today lack virtue. Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I think I understand what you're putting down. Essentially, where's the criticism on the women? If I can agree on some sort of summary of your coffee here. I mean, some of the description, I don't know if it's based in reality. Like, why aren't men interested in women? I don't know if it's because they're not interested in paying the same price for women that 10 plus other men got for free. Maybe I'm just not understanding you. Oh, you're just saying that men aren't interested in these women that have like a history of men. Why would they? All these other men got them without having to marry them. Why should these men marry them either? I mean, I think I know what you're saying. I mean, like, put it like this: why buy the cow when you're getting the milk for free? In a sense, I've heard it put like that. But I appreciate your coffees here, Eric. Thank you. Appreciate your support. What's that, Bill? Oh. What's going on there? Oh. How do I stop that? Should I check the audio? See if it came back? Nope. What a mess. Yeah, no audio. Bill, just so you know. Okay, 888-775-3773. Let me move on. Or, you know what, let's just stick on this topic Eric here brought up, since I think we could do this without audio. There was this... Sorry, folks, I'm a little thrown off. Look, there was this thread that was, no, I don't want to do this thread. It's too gross. It's too dirty. Yeah. Okay, ladies, like, fine. Eric might be someone right. Like, look, it's all this criticism on the men. Where did the men go? But after decades of telling them, oh, they're wrong, they're misogynists, they're rapists, they're this and that, is it that much of a mystery to go around and wonder where they went? That's all I'm trying to say. So that's all. Moving on. Should I try it again, Bill? No. Okay. Jasmine Crockett, okay. Oh, wait, what's that? Oh, that's not me, huh? Okay, so there was this video of Jasmine Crockett I thought was so funny. You know Jasmine Crockett a bit. She's that black American attorney, politician, U.S. representative for Texas' 30th Congressional District. Kind of a funny, a silly. I'll just tell you what she said in the clip. She's basically saying, I'm the one who's meant to make these effing decisions. Very classy lady. Talking about Trump and Iran. And it's like, what, if I could show you, you look at this and you think to yourself, for all the dissent and criticism you hear, well, that's fair, and about the people and the children, the people with power acting like children. It's like, wow, can we trust anybody with this Iran thing? And then we look at Crockett here, and you realize just how bad it could get, just how stupid it could get. And she's basically saying, you know, she's trying to say this thing about how Trump is not coming to Congress for permission, and this is just wrong. I'm seeing conservatives, because they simply don't want this war to happen, I'm seeing them basically jump on this whole War Powers Act thing, saying, yeah, Trump's not allowed to do that. What's going on here? And there's no this War Powers Act hasn't been ever successfully blocked a president from doing what they want to do. No president has ever acknowledged it as a proper check on their ability to start a war or whatever. And that even being said, if you look at the War Powers Act, it doesn't mean you can't do anything. If you look at the wording of the War Powers Act, it says that you can. Let me try and pull it up. But it's like essentially it gives you provisions to, if you're the president, that you could do like a military operation. But in 60 days, you have like a limit of 60 days. Should you not get any congressional approval in 60 days, you got to like stop or change something. That's already very different than what people are saying, like Jasmine Crockett saying, hey, you're not allowed to do that. I'm the one who's meant to make these effing decisions. Should I try? She says, hey, we got it. So she's probably going to swear here. I don't have it bleeped. So children listening, plug your little ears. But this is Jasmine Crockett. I'm sure this evokes a sense of, stability and trust. I'm sure when you see this. And you think to yourself, you're going to think to yourself, wow, I understand why people voted for her. Right, maybe?
And to understand enough about the Constitution to the extent that I'm the one that's supposed to make a fucking decision or at least get a vote.
They clapped. Bill, they're clapping. They're clapping for her, Bill. These men are clapping for her, Bill. I don't know if you heard her, but she said, I'm the one who's supposed to make these effing decisions about war. Yeah, let's give her the bombs.
And to understand enough about the Constitution to the extent that I'm the one that's supposed to make a fucking decision or at least get a vote. But it's Ron that's telling me. Right. So literally,
oh, man. You said what? The party of ego. Yep. Bill says it's better that it just sounds right or something to them. It's all about them. It's all about them. Yeah, it's all about them. What a mess here. So what else about this? Look, that's just a mess going on over there. We'll get into Mom Donnie here in a moment and all that. I want to get to Jeff out of Louisiana. I appreciate your call, sir. Thanks for holding. You're on the air.
Hey, man, I keep it as PG as possible, but I caught in your comment about I don't know what the super chat was about the why the million is California, how man.
Say that again. Say that again, Jeff. The super chat about what?
I caught telling your comment about how why the Cali kept milk for free. I guess it's not someone that want to date somebody's dated a lot of people.
You got to say that again, Jeff. Slower.
Was it the super chat you just read a few minutes ago?
Yeah.
Was the guy talking about not dating a woman that dated a lot of people?
Right. Yeah. He was saying that men aren't interested in marrying a woman that has basically been with a whole bunch of men.
Okay, I put it as simple as terms of let's say keep PG. Imagine you're decorating your house and you're going to buy garbage cans. Do you want to buy a garbage can that have been in 20 houses, people are throwing junk in it in every house and never cleaning it?
Would I want what? I heard the trash.
Would you want a new garbage can or one that's been in 20 guys' houses that are throwing all kinds of crap in it?
Well, it's a garbage can, right? Garbage is going to go in it, so wouldn't matter to me. But I'm being difficult with your analogy. I mean, essentially, you're trying to say, why would you want used goods, right?
Yeah, severely used goods.
And you know what? It's a fair question. I think most people wouldn't, in general. But can I nitpick a little bit? Let me play a little not even play devil's avocado. Let me just say, when I look at the world, I don't know if I quite see that. And maybe it was like that at some point, but my generation and the world I grew up in and the men I see, I don't really see them. Now, they may be foregoing marriage, and maybe they're foregoing marriage for this reason, but I don't see them avoiding women. Like, they're still getting with them, making babies at sometimes, definitely dating 100%. And there is maybe young people been listening to certain things online and yeah, they might have a thing against a high body count, but in general, I don't see guys asking that or caring about that.
Okay, let me put it out this way.
And maybe they're wrong for that, but that's just what I see.
Let me put it this way. I don't want any women listening. So I'll say this way. I'm not talking about somebody who's dated casually every year, just dated people. But there was a girl that went on YouTube, did a podcast, in England or somewhere and screwed 100 guys in 12 hours.
I think I'm somewhat familiar.
Now, that's kind of stuff I'm talking about.
What?
I mean, that's kind of stuff I'm talking about. You know, that's just, that's gross when you think about it.
You're talking about some woman that had sex with like a bunch of men and she went viral for it? Like she's saying like 100, 1,000 or something like that?
Yeah, it was 100 and like 12
Yeah,
hours.
I think there's 2 of those girls or something like that out there. But yeah, I'm somewhat familiar. What were you saying about them?
But I'm saying I'm talking about people that are not necessarily doing them all at one time, but do that have a high body count like that. That's what I'm against. You know, I understand people have a body count, but once you lose track of the number, you know, you need to just stop.
You said you need to stop?
Yeah, once you lose track of the number.
Why?
It's against not good for your health. It's against God. It's against everything.
I see.
Okay,
right on,
man,
Jeff.
I ain't gonna hold you up, man.
Appreciate it, Jeff. Thank you for your call. Call me again.
Sure.
888-775-3773. I think I understand what he's bringing up, and it's an interesting thing, right? There's these ladies out there going viral for having all this, you know, they're having all this sex with these men. They're like OnlyFans models or something. Let me see if I can even bring it up, because it was a little interesting to see. You know, besides whatever, like, it was interesting to see this woman on this podcast, this lady who went viral over there in the UK for having sex with all these men. And either she said it, either the host said it, or someone else said it. Doesn't matter. We don't need the clip. We don't need that. I think the point remains, look, this woman is what women have been fighting for. This freedom and equality and blah, blah, blah. This is what they've been fighting for, and what they and what they do with that freedom. What they do with that liberation. Let me work, let me be like a man, I should be allowed to have sex with anyone who I want. It's my body, my choice. And that's all that matters. That's the only thing that matters. Yo, what the heck is going on?
It does seem like it's buffering.
What the? But why though? Test. What a mess, folks. What the heck is going on, folks?
Now it seems okay, maybe?
All right, folks, I think we're back. Whatever. Jeez. This is terrible. It's throwing me totally off, folks. I'm terribly sorry. Test. No, excellent connection. All right. Anyways, 888-775-3773. You guys saw the ladies praying, right?
We just thank you right now, Lord, from the east, the west, the north, and the south. You will shake America with your power and your glory. We cancel every assignment of the enemy. This nation was birthed to be one nation under God, and we are standing on the soil of the White House, and we are declaring your word. Every place that our foot will trod, you will give it to us, and we are taking the land. We thank you, oh Lord. You have brought us to the kingdom for a time such as this, and this is the time. And so we declare right now, from the capital of our nation, that America will come back to God. We will come back to God. Nothing will stop this nation, and we speak right now by the authority of heaven. You told us to bring heaven to earth. Heaven is being released through your people right now.
This is so sick, man. This is so freaking sick. Who's this woman, Sharon? It's sick, man. And the whole world is a cult. The mainstream world, the mainstream world, the mainstream Christian world, the big churches, the big organized churches, and all that. It's a big cult. The Catholicism, Catholicism is getting an increase. The young Catholics are more Catholic than ever, I'm hearing. And it's like, oh, we're just, how are those beads? I was praying on those beads. You know, shout out to my buddy who took me to like this like super Catholic thing. And I was like, I want to check it out, sincerely. Take me there. But hey, I'm also a free thinker, open mind. Like I'm not gonna go. I wasn't sitting there criticizing it and being a buzzkill. But we talking about it after. I'm like, buddy, what the heck is this? Like a bunch of chanting and beads and like, how's that any different from this? God will come back. God will come back.
Right now, from the capital of our nation, that America will come back to God.
To God, America will come back to God. Like, why? Because you just said that? Because you're sitting there yelling? Like, there's nothing godly about that. It's so crazy. Now, I don't have anything special to say. I'm just kind of going off on her. So, whatever. It's just a little bit of a filler clip here. But it's a mess. The world is a cult. Like, the mainstream world is a cult. Like, think about it. What? Mainstream Christianity. I mean, they have all sorts of beliefs. Call me crazy. But they'll say things like, they'll point to what? They'll point to that one verse, right? They'll point to, what's that verse? If you say, what is it? If you say you are without sin, you are a liar. And this is like huge. I remember seeing this as a kid. I remember hearing this as a kid. It was before Jesse. And this was one of these major pillars in the Christianity I grew up with. Of how if you say you're sinless, right? Is this 1 John? If you say you are without sin, then if we say that we have no sin, we deceive ourselves and the truth is not in us. And it's like, that's like mainstream Christianity. Is that not a cult? Because you just have to read a little bit more, and it says about those that are, if you're with God, you wouldn't sin. I forget. But you just got to read on a bit. Anyways. Big cult. Huh? Let's not just random. Let's not half do that. What's that verse? Yeah. Let's we got the time here. 888-775-3773. 1 John 1:8. If we say we have no sin, we deceive ourselves. The truth is not in us. If we say we have not sinned, we make him a liar. The word is not in us. Literally the next verse. 1 John 2. My little children, I am writing these things to you so that you may not sin. But if anyone does sin, we have an advocate with the Father, Jesus Christ, the righteous. Amazing, no? They'll look at they'll say Jesse's crazy, and he's giving you the Bible. So tell me, who's the cult, huh? Anyways, it's pretty clear, Nit. Nice try, though. What do you mean? Nice try, what? It's pretty clear, Nit. Nice try, though. Yeah, what's clearer than? Let me pull that back up. What's clearer than that? Eli P? He's pretty clear that, yeah. To not sin. You got Jesus now. You're not like them. he that says, I know him and keep not his commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him. That's the verse after the one that's saying, oh, anyone who says they haven't sinned, the truth is not in him. We got Justin out of Fullerton, man. What do you got to say about stuff? You're on the air.
Hey, thanks for taking my call, Nick. How you doing?
All is well, sir.
Hey, are you ready to give, or maybe are we as a people ready to give a Nobel Peace Prize to Donald J. Trump for ending the war in 12 days in Iran and Iraq? And Israel, sorry.
Maybe.
Maybe. All right.
If it's like as it seems, if it's all as it seems, you know.
Seems like nobody got too injured, and
sure?
Yeah, they just attacked some nuclear bases, and that was it. Some strategic strikes, and they went home.
You think that's how it'll end up?
I guess, I kind of hope for that. I don't know if that's how it's going to end up.
I'm hoping for that too.
I don't know.
Wouldn't that be amazing though? Wouldn't that fly in the face of like a lot of the panicking that has been as of lately?
Well, the Prince of the Air makes people fear. I'd be glad to praise Jesus and say, hey, we got peace, our real Prince of Peace here, and maybe give Donald J. Trump a little slice of the pie. We got to give glory to Jesus and God. But hey, if there's peace, that's great. We don't need more people in the Middle East, including the Jewish people, to be dying. We need them to be living and at peace. So let's keep that going, right?
Well, when you listen to Trump, it seems like that's all that's on his mind. He talks about love and prosperity coming about in that region finally. He talks about a ceasefire that will last forever, and people laugh at him. They laugh at him, and they're like, "What is this insane person talking about?" But he will say these grand things, right? And in a world that will laugh at him, he'll say, "No, this ceasefire will last forever," because I know what he's thinking. I think I know what he's thinking. He knows that stability is just good for all people. He knows that the Iranians, the Israelis, and the world will benefit from peace. And I think he wants not only the Israelis but the Iranians to have an amazing life. It seems to me like he wants the world to have peace.
Yeah. I mean, it does seem that way, but actions are going to speak louder than words. As long as there's no boots in the ground and we're not escalating things, and we can be an arbiter of de-escalation. Good, but there definitely needs to be punishment. If Iran or Israel launches a single missile after this, they need to stop, listen to Papa Trump, and just follow along with what we're doing. If anybody violates those rules, they're the aggressor, and they should be demonized as the one causing the trouble.
I guess so, right? I mean, when you put it like that, after all this, if they want to fight, I mean, what do you do?
No, I know that, but I'm saying, let's say Israel launches something, or vice versa, Iran to Tehran or whatever, or Tel Aviv. Each of these places are valuable assets. You wouldn't want to have, just civilians hurt. But if that happened, if it wasn't just some strategic strike that supposedly happened that was to blow up some nuclear facilities, if it wasn't for that, okay, then the UN definitely needs to charge people with war crimes and try to the world needs to stop this. This needs to end. We don't need Ukraine, and we didn't need Russia. We didn't need India, and we didn't need Pakistan to go through all their wars and violent periods of time. And we surely don't need a new one starting. So, I mean, if Trump's able to keep peace in the world and do these different tactics, great. Prosperity, leads to peace. Peace leads to prosperity. Otherwise, our world leads in pieces. We get blown up and divided and filled with hate and fear. Yeah,
I hear you, man. Well, we're here hoping for that to last, and that's all true.
And one thing I was going to say, if he doesn't get a Nobel Peace Prize, that's fine. But it's very odd that in 2009, I don't know if you knew this, I just researched a little bit, and I found that Obama got one. I was like, why? I mean, he was in Libya, Syria. He inherited supposedly wars from Afghanistan and Iraq, but he had 7 wars in total. So why give him a Peace Prize?
He got a Peace Prize for what?
In 2009, I don't know for what. Diplomacy, I think. Mainly diplomacy. The way he spoke, the way he communicated. He somehow did something to... in 2009 to make peace in the world. I don't know that. I didn't dive too deep, but I do know in 2011, 2014, Libya, then Syria, et cetera, et cetera. So this guy gets this peace prize. So anyone that gets one should definitely not be leading any wars in the future. You know what I mean? Like, whether you inherit it or not, you need to, what do you call that? Like, Hicks says it a lot. Like, I disavow. Like, step away from it. I don't know what you're saying, and I'm not part of it. But, you know, us jumping into every little cause in the world needs to stop. Same with, like I said, at the universities. Everybody got their flags and protests can be totally looked at as terrorists and dissidents. So talk to people, negotiate, be reasonable. Don't be emotional. Don't set things on fire. Don't start things ablaze. Try to do things with diplomacy. I don't think Trump's the best speaker. I think Obama was much better, but with all his utterings, he couldn't bring world peace. I don't think our president could either, but at least the Middle East is paying attention to it, you know? So we're doing something, but we don't need to do anything else. I think anything else would be considered aggression. So, you know, free
What about
Iran.
the aggression of those people? They want Israel striking after Trump is saying the ceasefire and all that, flying in the face of what he wanted and America's interests. Iran, obviously their interests, I guess, have not been aligned with America for a long time. What would I don't know, what am I asking you? I guess I'm asking you, what should happen in that region? Should they continue going against, violating a ceasefire and all that?
No, they should not.
If you have any ideas on what should happen.
No, they should not. If there were, maybe it's just a Christian belief, but your yes needs to be a yes and your no needs to be a no. If there's people in any other religion or cultures or beliefs that have a practice where they're deceitful and they lie and they don't keep their word, well, yeah, there's a big, big problem with that. That needs to stop. The world is a very diverse group of people, and one thing we should all agree on is keeping your word. You can't say, well, you did this, so now we're going to ceasefire. We're going to not ceasefire. We're going to initiate again. No, we that doesn't make sense at all. So you can't trust people if that's the way. So I think the words need to be what the words are, and that's the bond that they need to make if they're writing things on paper or whatever, and that's it. We hold them accountable as a people. Otherwise, we should have only one protest, no war protest, unity protest or whatever, but nothing about what's divisive. And if anything, yeah, we should hold our leaders accountable and protest and say, end the war. Like before there's a war, like now, like be about peace and expect that, because that is what the American people want. We didn't vote for wars, and the president can make some, good decisions, but if he goes and usurps the will of the people, then there's going to be big trouble, I think, here in the United States. So I support Trump, and I support his wisdom. I just hope that the administration as a whole and his generals understand that they have an example to hold if they're going to say ceasefire, but, we're not the arbiter, if they don't do it, that we're supposed to get involved. I just hope less bloodshed, less people dying,
I got you, Justin. Appreciate it, man. Call me again.
All right. Thanks for taking my call.
888-775-3773. Anyways, 9 minutes ago, Rochester first. Wait, do we want the international news from Rochester first? Whatever. 9 minutes ago, fragile ceasefire appears to hold between Israel and Iran. No bombs, huh? No missiles? What time is it over there anyways? Time in Tehran. A little too late for missiles. We'll have to wait maybe a little while. It's almost midnight over there. Time in Tel Aviv. Are they in the same time zone? The time in Tel Aviv is 10:30 p.m. Wait, what? How is it 10:36 in Tel Aviv, but 11:06 in Tehran? Aren't the time zones like an hour apart? Are there time zones that are just 30 minutes apart? Time in Tel Aviv, 10:37 p.m. Whatever. Look, the ceasefire's holding apparently. Check this guy out, though. Have you seen this guy? What do you know about him?
For me. And here's the thing. You can vote for you.
Oops.
I just voted for me. And here's the thing. you can vote for you too. Because this race isn't about me. It isn't about Andrew Cuomo. It's about your future and your city. But if you're a young New Yorker, it's easy to feel like your voice doesn't matter. Politicians don't take you or your concerns seriously because they don't think you'll vote. But listen up. If you're under 30, you weren't even alive the last time Andrew Cuomo lived in New York City. So if he thinks he's qualified to be your mayor, you're more than qualified to vote for mayor. Young people are already smashing expectations with surging turnout. But if we want to defeat Andrew Cuomo and his MAGA billionaire donors, we need an earthquake.
Andrew Cuomo has MAGA billionaire donors? Wait, hold up. You're talking about the same Andrew Cuomo? The Andrew Cuomo, like the one that MAGA was against? Because he's like, was killing grandmas in the nursing homes, forcing them, or something like that about COVID. He just handled COVID badly. This Andrew Cuomo is receiving I mean, maybe. I'm just saying. This is just something he said. I've never heard that before. I've personally never heard that before. I don't know. He strikes me as someone I don't trust. This Mamdani guy is running for new mayor. And I've seen a little bit. I'm not saying that just from this little bit I played for you, to be fair. Just other things I've seen. But, MAGA billionaire. It's just not something I thought of Andrew Cuomo. Unless something changed. Have I not been paying attention to Andrew Cuomo? Is he a MAGA billionaire or supported by MAGA billionaires? It's just not something I thought of Andrew Cuomo.
Because my platform of a rent freeze.
Wait, what? My platform of a rent freeze? Jeez, this guy's a socialist.
Because my platform of a rent freeze, fast and free buses.
Fast and free buses, universal child care.
Universal child care, funded by taxes on the rich.
Funded by taxes on the rich, he says, tongue in cheek as the camera zooms, like we're supposed to be what? That was supposed to be cute. Funded by the rich, yep. By the way, we're gonna do something immoral, and I'm gonna have to quietly say this, by the way, because this is kind of a contentious thing, right? I'm basically telling you, we're gonna redistribute and all that. I mean, I'm sure his voters agree, but he has to say that quietly, I guess. Or maybe the rich people will hear, huh, Mamdani?
On the rich could be the difference between you having to move to Jersey City and getting to stay in the 5 boroughs. Early voting runs through.
Wow, I want to stay in the 5 boroughs so badly. I want to stay so badly. I want to live in New York. It's getting expensive and all that. It's a mess. You, Mamdani, artificially freeze my rent because I want this. And I'm sure they'll tell them all sorts of things. This is good. This is I want to live here so bad. My rent should just not go up.
In the 5 boroughs. Early voting runs through Sunday. Election day is on Tuesday, and you can go to ZahranforNYC.com.
Zahran, is that how you say it? Zahran? Zahran, is he like a Muslim? They're saying he's a Muslim. Zahran Mamdani. Ugandan Indian American politician. Ugandan Indian American. A Ugandan Indian American. I'm seeing these ads. Now, where did I put that? He's got all this messaging of like freezing the rent. They did this to you. They took this from you. How do we... Not let's fix things so that we can be better, right? Let's just get rid of the crime, get rid of all the things in the way so that businesses can flourish and all that. No. Let's give you things. Let's give you things, very specific things, handouts, but fix the system. No, we'll just freeze the rent. Fix things? What are you talking about, fix things? We'll just freeze your rent, you. But that might make all this stuff crazy. Who cares? You voted for me. I'm freezing your rent, baby. Fix the country, fix New York, underlying issues. Who cares about that? That's the mentality of like Trump and people like that. Their mentality in governing is just let's clear the weeds out of the garden. Let's get rid of the bad actors who are stealing and making it hard to grow in the garden, and let's get it all out of the way. Now we don't know exactly how you'll do this, but we trust that you will. You'll plant and grow the garden. It's a little bit different. I just see different mentalities, if I may ramble on in the last few minutes of the show.
Mayor Jono, Democratic.
So wait, hold up. This is the same Zoran? He was just talking perfect English a moment ago.
নিউ ইয়র্ক সিটির মেয়রের জন্য ডেমোক্রেটিক প্রাইমারিতে আমরা র্যাঙ্ক চয়েস ভোটের মাধ্যমে নির্বাচন করি।
Let's make this easier with মিষ্টি। তুমি কি একজনকে পছন্দ করছো? তোমার পছন্দের 5 জনকে র্যাঙ্ক করতে পারবা।
যদি আপনার 1 নম্বর পছন্দের ক্যান্ডিডেট জিততে না পারে তাহলে এই ভোট পরের পছন্দের ক্যান্ডিডেটের কাছে চলে যাবে। তাই 24 তারিখে আপনারা আমাকে জোহরান মামদানি র্যাঙ্ক করবেন, পুরা ব্যালট পূরণ করবেন।
আমাদের মতো progressives তাদেরকে র্যাঙ্ক করো।
Yes, other progressives like us. We're getting some translation here. This is an ad, a political campaign ad in a different language.
আমাদের মতো progressives তাদেরকে র্যাঙ্ক করো।
No more progressives.
Brad Lander, Adrian Adams, Zelnor Mairi, Michael Blakeর মতো।
আর লিটল বাংলাদেশ কেনসিংটন আপনাদের কাউন্সিল মেম্বার শাহানা হানিফকে ভোট দিতে ভুলবেন না। আমার বাংলা ভালোই না?
So, bunch of foreign ads. This is for New York, just so you know. This is for New York. Running for mayor in New York. Yeah, we're going to have to get back to Mamdani. Strikes me as a total phony. There's some interesting things about him I want to mention. We'll have to come back to it, but he's a total socialist. Playing on this philosophy, this whole central point that your pain, your suffering is the fault of somebody else. Whatever. Look, he says that everyone deserves dignity. You know, this like buzzword. It's like one of these buzzwords, like dignity. It just means like money. It just means like handouts.
For me, when you ask what does it mean to be a democratic socialist, for me it means to be fighting for a society in which dignity is guaranteed to each and every member of this place. And I believe that the state should play a critical role in the distribution of that dignity and the ensuring that that dignity is actually received. This is one case where Republicans would be correct. There are taxes that I want to raise. They would like to portray this as me trying to raise taxes on someone making 50, 60, 70K, which is not the case. What we need to do is raise
not yet
taxes on those who have more than enough and should share a little bit more with the rest.
Yeah, but when that's not enough money, and it never is, you'll just tax everybody. That's just how it goes. But look, it'll never be enough because you can't fix people like that. It's a never-ending chasm. The chasm just gets bigger. You just keep throwing money in there. You're like, this will fix them. They just need an opportunity. They just need a handout. They just need an opportunity, a leg up. They just need something. No. That's just largely not true. It's another one of these conversations we've been having for a while, and we're seeing it not work out. These people don't want opportunities. Those people on the street want to be there. Okay, they're not good people with a bad circumstance. They're evil people, and evil people have an evil, bad circumstance life. Okay, this is how it goes in many cases. Like it's just it's one of those thoughts. It's one of those wrong thoughts that has ordered things in the wrong way, right? The first brick that was laid down is crooked, and now the whole building's crooked. And that brick that's crooked is that criminals are criminals because of their economic situation. That poverty causes crime. It's one of those wrong thoughts, you know. I wonder how much havoc, destruction such a thought has wrought. You know, it's a lie. It's basically a lie. It's a lie, you know, that it's your economic state, that poverty creates crime. It's just not true. You know, you'd be surprised how many people don't care about doing the right thing. They just don't. How you don't know how criminal elements of a populace, the work that your ancestors did to remove them slowly, over time, by marrying correctly and executing criminals. Yeah, there were huge killings of criminals in medieval times and in your world, in the society before you were born, right? Maybe we'll get into that one day. We're coming to the end of the show. Where was I? It's just a lie. That's a lie. So anyways, folks. All right. Appreciate your super chat here. Terry, thank you so much. Thank you for the support, everybody. Coffee's here from someone. Someone with many coffees here. Eric with more coffees says, you don't see men dating for marriage and children. You see men in situationships to get laid. No man wants to pay full price for a car with 100,000 miles. Yeah, I understand what you're putting down, Eric. Appreciate your coffees and all that. Yeah. Amazing. But he walked around a neighborhood in his ad, sipping a coffee. He's just like me, says Ivana, looking at that New York guy. You know, there was a clip. Now, what was it? It was some moment where this New York mayor, and it was about, I think he was there with the other candidates, and he was asked about visiting Israel. And I don't have the clip, but he was like, no, I care about America. And there was all these people like, wow, this guy's so based. He does not, he's so based because he's like, I want to be in New York and care about Americans. And whoa. Just heard a big bang out there in the office. What was I saying about that? It's just that people thought it was so based. It was strange that you had this panel of candidates and they asked, where did this question? It's like the race for New York mayor, and they asked every candidate, they're like, will you go to Israel? Will you go to Israel? And they were all like, yeah, of course, it's the first thing I'm going to do, blah, blah, blah. And then Mamdani was like, oh, I'm not going to do it. I want to, I'm mayor of, I'm going to be here in America. And it was strange. I mean, what is this moment where they're asking them all to go to Israel? But Mamdani, you're gonna. Is that how shallow you think? Wow, Mamdani's so basic. I'm gonna vote for Mamdani. This guy. This is what I've been trying to say about this discourse over Israel and the Jews. It's like there's maybe very few who have like maybe a high IQ take on what's going on with governments or et cetera. I mean, it's a matter of allegiance, nation, and those questions. Very interesting. But the vast majority of people, the rest of y'all, you guys are just putting on the Palestinian scarf and saying Zionists and down. You'll see a Mamdani and vote for him, not realizing he hates you, not realizing he's going to destroy things too. I mean, how shallow can you be, right? Whatever. That's it, though. That's pretty much it. Look, that's pretty much it. What else can I say about all this? All right, folks. That's it. That's enough out of me. How about that? Appreciate all your super chats and all that. Look, we got to all the super chats, the calls, and the topics. Will New York learn? I don't know. I don't think that's how it works. I think people have been waiting for voters to wake up and learn, but it's been engineered not to work out that way. You think Dearborn, Michigan, you think wherever that area is that voted for Ilhan Omar, you think any moment they're going to wake up? Wow, we really made a mistake. We're not voting for Somalia. No, they voted for her because they are Muslim and Somalian and all that. And that's the play in New York. And should the demographics and all that continue to change, no one's waking up. There's nobody who's going to wake up and say, this is we've really been voting wrong. I mean, maybe some. In fact, I'm positive some will. Of all races. Men, women, of all races. I'm positive that happens constantly. I see it all the time. I'm positive that some of all races and all that. But the most people don't operate that way. And these Muslims in Michigan and these people in New York, they're going to continue voting the same way, socialists and all that, because they have that mindset. And some will overcome, I'm sure. Some will change. Some will. But that's how it goes, okay? Anyways, have a Coke and smile and STFU, says John Gray. You mean a Coca-Cola, right? All right, folks, that's it from me. That's the show. I'll be back tomorrow for more American Anchor Baby. Manhood Hour on the JLP show, the Hake Report, and more. I gotta go. It's enough out of me. Take care. And what else? Take care, folks. That's it. Difficult to say goodbye. It's so hard to say bye, but let me say goodbye this time for real. Take care and have a nice day. Oh, little Nick too, he's got to say bye-bye.
The views, information, thoughts, and opinions expressed during this show are the individual's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of the JLP Network or Bond. Their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. The material and information presented here is for general information purposes only. The JLP Network and Bond name and all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owner, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service.